So one of the debates has been prompted by the Trayvon Martin case about stand your ground laws, which were introduced in Florida in about 2005. And what they do is they extend the notion of the castle doctrine, which allowed people to defend themselves using lethal force in their houses, into the street, into the public sphere. And it changes common law. I mean, self-defense has always been a defense, but in the past, if you were outside the house, you could only use lethal force in defending yourself. In the last circumstance, it was meant to be, if you really thought you were going to die and there was nothing else you could do, and you had no option of escaping or running away, then you could use lethal force. What Stand Your Ground does is it allows people to use lethal force, not quite as the first option, but before they no longer have to attempt to escape. So the responsibility to retreat is gone. And this became crucial in the Trayvon Martin case because, if you remember, in 2012, he was not arrested after the shooting for about 5 weeks, which led to a huge controversy and a campaign to have him arrested. One of the reasons he wasn't arrested was Stand Your Ground. The police simply thought that he, probably because of the Stand Your Ground laws, he hadn't committed a crime. In the event, it turned out that a jury found he hadn't committed a crime either, and also in the event, he didn't, in the end, have to rely on Stand Your Ground. He used self-defense, the old-fashioned self-defense. But Stand Your Ground still found its way into the courtroom because when the judge gave instructions to the jury, she used the language of Stand Your Ground. She said that he was legitimately able to use lethal force to defend himself, and he did not have a responsibility to try and escape or retreat. Because you no longer need to retreat and you can resort to lethal force far more rapidly, critics are saying that it promotes violence, that in the end, there are some studies that suggest that homicide rates in states that have introduced Stand Your Ground have increased. That isn't the case in Florida, but if you look in total, I think about 30 states have introduced Stand Your Ground, and there is at least one study that shows that there is a marked increase if you look at all of those states collectively.